Hey guys, I'm back this week with another video. Today, instead of talking to you about how I found my first fandoms or how I organize my fandoms, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about what I'm obsessing over right now at this moment in time. Some things that I have found that are new to me that I haven't quite placed on my tiers of fandoms yet. So if you're interested in what I've been super obsessed over lately, then just keep watching. If you haven't seen my explanation of my fandom tiers video, you should probably go and watch that because I'm going to be talking about placing things in my tiers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to get as confused as my family does. So, you should pause and go watch that video from last week and then come join us later. It's okay, I'll wait. First things first, Stranger Things. I honestly don't know how it's been around this long and I haven't become obsessed with it yet. It's so good and so different from anything I've ever seen before. I honestly don't even know if I have a favorite part or a favorite person or just anything because they're all so great. If you haven't watched it yet, you totally should. If you're on the fence about it, it's very good. Very good. I highly, highly recommend it. Next one is a show I found a long time ago. Relatively a long time ago, but it's been around for a lot longer and I honestly don't know how I didn't know about it because I didn't know it existed till like a couple years ago, and then I didn't start watching it till a few months ago, and that's Teen Wolf. And I love Teen Wolf. It's so good. Just the way that they do the supernatural part of it is so good. I've never seen a banshee done that way, and I love it. And the personalities of the characters are just so good. I love Styles. I mean, I love all of them, but Styles I connect with on a spiritual level because I literally also think that all my friends are just amazing, more amazing than me in any way possible, and I've got my sarcasm. That's what I've got. And his Jeep, by the way. Okay, no, I'm totally gonna get a Jeep. Said it here, said it now. I'm getting a Jeep for myself someday because that was just perfect. And the relationship goals in that show, friendship goals, I can't individually talk about them and not have this be an hour long. Just watch it. It's amazing. If you've already watched it, you know what I'm talking about. Oh goodness. It's a great show. It's a great show. Next show is actually a show that I have known has been around for a while, but I never really actually got to sit down and watch the whole thing, and that's Glee. And I've known it's been around for a while because when I was in high school, I was in show choir, and you don't get to be in show choir when Glee's on air and not know about it. So I was really interested in it because it was painting show choir in a positive way. And I don't know about anybody else who's ever been in show choir, but my show choir was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. I honestly don't know how I would have survived high school without it. It was a lifeline, seriously. It was so great. So great. So I love show choir. And it was so fun because I got to see, when I watched it this past summer, I got to see characteristics of people that I could identify as people that I was in show choir with. And that made the show just even 10 times more amazing. And it was already amazing to begin with. And the songs were great. And the characters were great. And the dancing was great. Way better than anything I ever did in show choir. I'm not a dancer. It was amazing. And because of that, I found these next two things. Now, everything that I've talked to you now, I think I'm gonna place in my middle tier. I could be wrong. Some of them might be bottom tier. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know 100% yet. It hasn't been long enough. But these next two, I am fairly certain are gonna be pillars. Yeah, one of these things is actually what I was talking about in my last video when I said it hasn't been long enough, but it's there. Yeah, I found it because I found Glee. And this other one, it's there, but it wasn't there when I talked to you last week. That's literally how recent it is. I only found out about it the week before last week, and then I obsessed over it the whole next week, and now I'm talking to you about it now because it is worth mentioning. And those two things are Shadowhunters and Hamilton, an American Musical. Oh my gosh, guys, no, those things are just above and beyond. I can't stop thinking and obsessing and talking about them. It's literally taking over my mind. And I found them both because of Glee. I found Shadowhunters because of Glee because one of the guys on Shadowhunters is on Glee. So when I was on Tumblr obsessing over Glee, I found his face on the Shadowhunter tag. And I was like, what is this? And so then I got interested and I started doing my research and I found out a little bit about it. Then I decided to watch it. And then I found out that it's connected to books. And then I remembered in high school that this was a thing. So I went and I did my research on the books. And then I found out that there was a series of books before the series of books that the show is about. And I read those. And when I picked that one up, the first one of that one, the Infernal Devices, the Clockwork books, something clicked in my head. My friend, one of the ones that I mentioned in my very first video, had been telling me about these books for the longest time. And so I took a picture of it and I was like, are these the books that you're telling me about? And she goes, yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're reading them. They're so great. You're gonna love them. And I did read them, and oh my gosh, they are so good, guys. Like, Will, Jem, and Tessa are like the greatest things ever in this world. And don't even get me started on Magnus Bane. Like, he's my favorite. He is my favorite. I love him so much. And he's like in all the books, and oh gosh. Read them, watch the show. It's just so good. So good. I have this necklace. It's the Parabatai rune. I have it because I have a Parabatai. I'm not even kidding you. Like, this show/book series opened up like this whole other world of living to me. I seriously am not kidding that I have a Parabatai. She and I have known each other for as long as I can remember. And she moved away for a really, really long time. And then when she moved back, we started hanging out again. And we were talking one day and I was just obsessing over Shadowhunters. And she goes, oh my gosh, you watch Shadowhunters too? I love that show. And she starts talking about how she really wanted to get back into reading the books because she couldn't quite remember where she had stopped. And it just, yeah. We took the character quizzes of the show Shadowhunters. I got Alec and she got Jace. So we are literally Parabatai. We were talking before about how we were Parabatai because we, like, even though she was living hours and hours and hours away, we never lost our super strong bond connection. Like, she is my Parabatai. And I honestly don't know where I'd be without her either. So that show literally opened up a whole other world to me. And it was amazing. Amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Hamilton. Oh my gosh. Okay. Remember my first video? If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. In my first video, when I told you about my two friends that got me started on all this crazy journey. So over the holidays, I was visiting them. And my dear cousin would not stop humming You'll Be Back. Like, and then they would just start breaking out in song because they do that because they were in show choir with me. I'm not kidding you. It's like Glee every day when I'm with those people. They just break out into song. It's amazing. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love those two with my whole heart. And I had recognized that song because while listening to the Glee music, it had come up on recommended because Jonathan Groff was on Glee. And so I knew that song and I knew it was from Hamilton, but I hadn't really listened to a whole other lot of Hamilton. And they said, oh, it's great, you should. And then literally the next day, another friend of mine is talking to me about how she can't stop listening to Hamilton. So I was like, okay, no, I have to give this musical a shot. And I love musicals, so I honestly don't know why I hadn't listened to it beforehand. Maybe it was because I felt a little intimidated because I really didn't know a lot about Alexander Hamilton, but this musical changed that for sure. I mean, it's so good. You're totally crying over someone who's been dead for over 200 years by the end of it, and you don't know why. And there are songs that literally give me chills every time I hear them. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Listen to it if you can. Watch it if you can. I haven't seen it yet, and I really want to. And I was this close to being able to get tickets, but sadly not. And oh my gosh, guys. No. It's literally only been a couple weeks, and I've almost got those 6.2 words per second down in Guns and Ships. I have been, listening to that song a lot, and yeah, no, this musical is just great. Yeah, you should totally listen to it, and you should read the Shadowhunter novels, because I've read all of them, and you should watch the Shadowhunter show, because it's coming back soon, and I'm super excited, and you should watch Teen Wolf. It's ended, which made me cry, but it's so good, and you should watch Glee, because it's amazing and fantastic, and you should watch Stranger Things, because it's just like, I don't even know. I cannot honestly describe to you Stranger Things in any way, but all these things are so good. And I recommend them in the highest degree because I'm obsessing over them right now. They are in my mind all the time. Shadowhunters and Hamilton the most, but the rest right under them. They're just amazing. I've been obsessing over Shadowhunters and all these things so much that I've been dressing like them, hence the parabatai necklace and the shirt, which I call my Alec shirt because I think Alec would wear it. And that is how you know that I am super into something when I start dressing like it, because I do that a lot. And speaking of that, if you want an example of that, then you should subscribe and wait for next week's video, because that is exactly what I'm going to show you. An example of how I dress like one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite shows, totally incognito and casual in every single way, for an everyday kind of look. And it's gonna be pretty cool. Honestly, I think so. So that's it for this week. Stick around for next week because it's going to be fantastically amazing, and I will see you guys. Bye.